So let's get started. So we're on our fourth kosha, and I know you missed, and the last week was your first one, and Suzanne, we've missed you. You haven't been here for a while. Our fourth kosha is Vignanamaya kosha, and it is our wisdom body. So we're going through these layers like as if we were an onion or one of those little Russian dolls. And started with our physical layer, which is our body that we can see and touch and that we tend to live in. And also our pranayama body, which is our life force. Prana is life force. Hey, Ben. And so each class we've been focusing just on that one particular kosha. And last week we did the mind body, which is our thinking mind. So this week, we're still dealing with the mind, but this is our wisdom. So this is different than our thinking mind that's always got that chatter going on all the time. This is that deeper knowing. And the way for us to access that is through our yoga practice of our physical asana practice, our pranayama practice, and our meditation practice. Because most of us in our society tend to live in our head and in our physical body and feel like that's all there is. And it isn't until we begin to quiet those parts of us or those layers that we begin to be able to find that wisdom body and be able to hear those intuitive thoughts and that awareness where our true knowing comes from, our true wisdom. And it's not wisdom from intellectual standpoint, it's wisdom from that inner knowing. And there might have been times, hopefully, in all of your lives where you just knew something to be the right decision, or you just knew something to be the right choice for whatever reason, and that's your inner wisdom. And usually when our mind is like this all the time and our physical body's not healthy, we're not breathing properly, we don't often get those messages from the wisdom body. So today's practice, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to work through a lot of the aspects that we did in the other previous three classes, some powerful asana, working with our breath, and also a meditative state that we're going to do through the process of yoga nidra. And is there anybody here who has never done yoga nidra? I'm thinking maybe you. As everybody else has done yoga nidra? I know most of my regular students have. Have you? I'm not sure. Okay, so yoga nidra, it's kind of like a really deep relaxation meditation that you do laying on your back. So it'll be a really long shavasana. And the purpose of yoga nidra is we go through a process where we do relaxation of the body in a step-by-step way. We go through a process of breath and visualization, and it gets you to that state. For those of you who haven't done it, have you ever been like almost asleep, but you're still aware what's going on around you, but you're not really responsive, or you're kind of off in another world, but you're aware there's something going on? That's kind of the same state of yoga nidra. And what's really neat about that is once you let go of the physical body and what it's doing, and once you let go of all the mental chatter, you can come to that place of the wisdom body, basically. And the body or the mind is very suggestive at that point in time. And when you're in the dream state, you can do anything, right? You can float, you can fly, because your mind's not telling you what you can and can't do. In the physical world, you really can be invincible. I'm sure we've all slayed dragons or done crazy feats in our dreams. So this yoga nidra takes you hopefully to that state. So that'll be at the end of class in place of our shavasana. Sorry, I'm just going to see somebody. Okay. So you can start either laying on your back with knees bent or seated with eyes closed. You choose where you want to be and what's most comfortable for you. We're just going to spend a little time with some breath awareness before we get started in our movement practice. So once you've found your position, let your eyes float closed. And just take a couple of moments to settle into your body and your space on your mat, letting go of the day. And do this by starting to connect to your deep belly breath. And if it helps you to place your hand on your low belly to begin to feel that breath, go ahead and do that as well. Sometimes we have a hard time relaxing the belly to allow that breath to happen, and it can be very helpful to have that kinesthetic awareness of your hand on your belly. Just taking a few deep breaths, being aware of softening the belly, being aware of your inhales and your exhales. And then I'm going to ask you to begin to connect with Ujjayi breath. So some of you may not have done Ujjayi breath, but it's creating a slight restriction in the back of your throat so that you feel the air on the floor of your nose and kind of on the back of your throat. And it starts to make a noise like the ocean. And sometimes we get really good at the exhale with our Ujjayi breath and forget to also do it on our inhale. So that's going to be a big part of our focus through our physical practice today, is trying to stay connected to that Ujjayi breath. So I should start hearing that ocean breath in the room. So it's almost like you're on the edge of a snore, but you're not, if that helps. Or think of fogging up a mirror. Connecting with that Ujjayi breath can sometimes be the hardest part of the whole practice. So just spend a couple moments not moving, trying to find that style of breath, that type of pranayama. And then from here, we're going to make your way onto hands and knees. So if you're lying down, you can roll into fetal position and make your way up to a seat and onto hands and knees. And if you're seated, just rock forward. And so trying to, again, find that Ujjayi breath and connect it to each of our movements as we move through these first few simple movements of first cat and cow. So using your inhale, and then your exhale, belly draws in, chin drops. Press into the floor. Inhale, retaining that restriction in the back of your throat and maintaining that as you exhale. I'm just going to do a few more breaths, nice and easy inhale, easy exhale, really concentrating more on the breath and on the movement, but trying to slow down the breath with that Ujjayi breath so that your movements and your breath match. Let's do 2 more full rounds of inhale and full rounds of exhale. And you can do this with your eyes closed or open, whatever helps you focus. And then this time, as you come into your cow pose, we're going to exhale into child's pose. So sending the sit bones back towards the heels. Using your inhale to rise into your cow pose, keeping with that Ujjayi breath. Curling the toes under, use the exhale to find down dog. So we're going to oscillate between these 3 poses that you've been doing. Your exhale, take an inhale, and as you exhale, drop the knees. Inhale to cow. Exhale, child's pose. The inhale takes us to cow. The exhale takes you down dog. 2 more rounds like that. Inhale, cow, knees drop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow. Curl the toes under. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow. Curl the toes. Exhale, down dog. Stay in down dog this time. Taking a few breaths just to bring whatever movement your body needs in your downward facing dog. And that might mean turning both toes to the right and then the left and bringing a stretch into your side body. Opening up side body. It might mean bending your knees really deeply and drawing your belly towards your thighs to lengthen through the spine and lift the hips a little bit higher. And then once you've had a chance to bring movement, take a moment to feel still and grounded and pressing into both hands and both feet as though you're trying to stick down all 4 corners of your mat. Take one more breath here. And then rock forward on an inhale to plank pose. Pressing the floor away from you, shoulder blades wrapping towards your armpits. And then exhale back down dog. 2 more times like that. Just finding this rhythm with the breath. The inhale with your ujjayi breath to plank pose. The exhale, ujjayi breath, down dog. 1 more round like that. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Nice breath sounds I'm starting to hear. Drop your knees, come into child's pose. Give your wrist a break. We're going to move into down dog in just a couple more breaths and do a little bit of hip work in downward facing dog. Getting the body slowly woken up. And then use your next ujjayi inhale to come back up to downward facing dog. And then inhale, right leg up to the sky in 3-legged dog. So right leg straight, reaching to the sky. We're going to make hip circles from here. So bending the knee out to the side and then rotating it forward towards your elbow, back thigh towards your belly, and back up 3-legged dog. So exhale to make that circle, and you kind of almost come forward to plank. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Let's do that 2 more times. And then on this last one, you can float your foot down. Let's move straight into our second side, and then I'll get you out of downward facing dog here really soon. Inhale, left leg up, stretch it up nice and high. Exhale, bend the knee, circle it around, knee towards your elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Circling it around. Keep making those big circles, bringing your knee out to the side and then thigh to your belly and reaching back up. Get into those hip joints, get them moving. Last circle. And then you can bring your foot down, 3-legged dog. Take one big inhale, lift the hips up off the waist, and exhale, step or walk to the top of your mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Let the top of your head spill. Let your knees be bent here, enough so that you're not straining your hip flexors. And you might even bend your knees enough so that your belly can rest on your thighs, but let the top of your head spill towards the earth, as though you're spilling all that noise out of the brain. And if you wish, you can add a silent om to every exhale. This helps us to begin to focus the mind. Let's all bend our knees a little bit deeply. Let your belly rest on your thighs. And then keeping your head loose, your neck loose, begin to press your thighs back and your sit bones up to the sky. Exhale, bend. Inhale, press. One more time. Bend. Let your neck be free and then begin to press. It doesn't matter if your legs become straight, but you'll probably notice you've created a little bit more room just doing that a few times. Take one more breath here. This time inhaling, lifting the heart, hands come to your shins, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, belly draws in, we fold. And inhale, circle wide, rise high. Reach to the sky, look up. Draw your hands to your heart center. Keep your hands at your heart center. We're going to practice with our drishti, our focus, like we did last week, I think it was. Bringing your gaze to the tip of your pinky finger. And just a bit of a reminder of some of the things we did in the last 3 classes. Notice as you gaze with your drishti at your pinky fingers, that everything else in your periphery falls out of focus. So we can do this with our mind when we have a busy mind, and let all the clutter fall out of focus. Take one more breath here with your drishti at your little fingers. And then you can release your hands. We're going to move through some sun salutations, just moving, warming up the spine and moving with the body. Inhale with your ujjayi. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Restriction at the back of the throat as you fold and the belly moves in. Inhale, let the heart float up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step back into plank pose. Take an extra breath here in your plank pose. And for this first one, we're all going to lower down to our belly, and you might drop your knees as your body gets warmed up. Uncurl your toes, press your toes down so that your knees lift. Hands grounded. Inhale, lengthen round, rise up. Exhale, come down. Let your forehead touch. Release your hands, intertwine your hands behind your back. And begin to press your knuckles towards the direction of your feet. Inhale, rise up in your cobra once again. And keep lengthening your knuckles away as you lift your heart. Exhale, release down. Hands underneath your shoulders. Press up and back. You can press up and back through your knees, downward facing dog. Take another inhale here. The exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen, reach through your crown, reach through the sit bones. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise up. Draw into your heart center. We're going to continue with sun salutations, but we're going to add on some lunges with this. So inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. The exhale, we step back with the right foot. Drop the back knee into low lunge. And then reach up to the sky or bring hands to your knees. You decide what's most appropriate here. Exhale, the hands come down. And we're just going to rock back into a reverse lunge. So walk your hands along, pressing into that left heel, the front heel. Inhale, walk it back up. Lift the back knee, step back, plank pose. And this time, if you feel warm and you want to lower, we're going to go all the way to our belly again. You might lower through chaturanga, or you might still drop your knees to lower. You choose. Release your hands to your bum. Intertwine your fingers again. Inhale, lengthen the hands away as you rise up in your cobra. We're going to stay for a couple breaths, reaching through the crown of your head. Maybe you lengthen your legs, your feet so much that maybe your legs begin to float up, and maybe they don't yet. Take one more breath. Exhale, release down. Hands come under your shoulders, press up and back, downward facing dog, or you might pause in child's pose along the way. And then meet us in down dog. We're going to float that right leg to the sky in three-legged dog. And exhale, step it up between your hands. And you can use that right hand to help it get up there. So we're on our lunge on our second side. Drop your back knee. Hands either to your front knee or up to the sky. Lengthening up. The exhale, the hands come down, reverse lunge or half Hanumasana, sometimes called. Press into that front heel. Inhale, walk it back to the top of your mat. Lift the back knee, step forward. The inhale lifts the heart, lengthens the spine. The exhale, we fold. Inhale, rise. And draw into your heart. Take a moment's pause in your mountain pose. We're going to keep building on our lunges and adding more things into it. So let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, step the left foot back. Changed my mind halfway through. Let's drop the back knee once again. Inhale, reach to the sky. Lengthen up, but keep the belly contained so we're not pushing our front ribs forward. And then we're going to bring our hands together at heart center. Take an inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to our right side towards your bent knee. So you might just look like this with forearm on your front knee. You might catch your elbow on your knee and stack your hands. Lots of different options. Take one more breath. Exhale, release the hands down. Lift the back knee. Step back. Downward facing dog. So you can choose to take a little break in child's pose here, or you can inhale forward to plank pose. Use your exhale to lower, and then you're going to get to choose your back bend. So it might be upward facing dog, it might be cobra, you choose. And then we're all going to meet in downward facing dog. So it might seem like we're moving quickly into our physical practice, but I want to make sure we've got lots of time for Yoga Nidra. So we're going to warm ourselves up quickly and then wind it down. Left leg floats, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it up between your hands. Drop your back knee. Inhale, we reach up. Lengthening up. Take one more inhale here. And then we press our palms together at heart center. You can add that drishti to your pinky fingers if you wish. Take an inhale here. As we exhale, we're twisting to the left towards your bent knee, either catching your elbow or releasing forearm to your front knee into your twist. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, hands come down. Lift your back knee. Let's step forward. The inhale lifts the heart, lengthens the spine. The exhale, we bow. The inhale, we rise up. And reach up to the sky. Draw into your heart center. And release. Let's keep moving, adding on to our lunges. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. So we'll start with our knee down on the mat. We're going to keep our hands down and we're just going to kind of rock back and forth between these two positions, reverse lunge and our regular lunge. Not real fast, just nice and slow, mindful, just opening the hips. And then come back into your lunge. I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can bring your hands to your hips here. Curl your back toes under. And we're going to try to straighten that back knee. So you might want your hands down as you straighten, or you might have your hands on your hips as you straighten. It's a little more challenging. And then release your hands into runner's lunge. So feel the connection between your feet to the floor as you intertwine your fingers behind your back, and then rise up into crescent moon. So a little bit of challenge with your balance as we make those transitions. And then staying with your ujjayi breath, we're going to add 3 breaths with breath retention at the top of your inhale if you feel okay with that. So take a nice big inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the knuckles down, pause at the top of your exhale, or inhale, and exhale, belly draws in. 2 more breaths like that. One last breath like that. And then release your hands back to your heart center. Take an inhale. We're going to exhale into our twist to the left. So you can lean forward and catch your elbow, or you can slide that right hand down, or bring your forearm to your front knee, but we're twisting to the left, wherever you've decided to be. And some of you might even open your arms. Take one more breath here. And then release the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Again, your choice to take a rest in child's pose. Take a flow and meet us back in down dog, or even staying in down dog. Again, you lower down from your plank, whether it's half plank or full plank, and your back bend of either cobra or up dog. So there's always choices to make the practice either more challenging or less challenging, depending what your body needs, what your mind needs to be able to become centered and to let go of all those busy thoughts. And we're all different. Let's float. Right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. The exhale, we step it up between the hands. Drop the back knee. And then we're going to do that same rocking back and forth. Exhaling, rocking back. Inhaling, rocking forward, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze. Exhaling. It's almost like we're doing a cat-cow with our torso as our leg is moving us forward. We open the front body, we gaze up. And as we exhale back, we drop our gaze, our drishti. This time as we come forward, stay here. Same thing as before. Curl your toes under, either option to bring your hands to your hips or keep your hands on the floor as you lift your knee, depending what's going on in your body. And then rising into our runner's lunge. So hands out to your side. Really grounding into both feet. Intertwine your fingers, open the heart, rise up into crescent moon. So take one full round of breath here, and then we'll start our 3 breaths with breath retention at the top of your inhale if you feel that's appropriate for you today. So inhaling your ujjayi breath. Pause at the top of your inhale with heart lifted. Exhale, belly draws in. 2 more. Inhale. Pause. And slow exhale, belly draws in. Last one. And exhale. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart center. We're going to twist to the right. So again, you can bring forearm down. You can stack palms. And you can open the arms. You decide which variation works for you today. Taking one more breath. And then exhaling, both hands come down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Again, options to flow by coming forward to plank, option to take child's pose or stay in down dog. We're all going to meet in down dog, so you choose how you're going to get there. Take one more breath here. On the exhale, look between your hands, step, walk, or float to the top of your inhale or top of your mat. Exhale, bow down. Take another inhale. Let's lift the heart and lengthen. And then walk your feet apart, pretty much hip width apart. We're going to bend the knees and bring your forearms to both knees. So create the action as though you're spreading your feet apart, even though your feet are not moving. And then extend your arms straight out in front of you as though someone's pulling on your wrists. I've got a hold of all of your wrists and I'm pulling you forward. Pulling you forward. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. Take 1 more inhale. And the exhale, we fold forward, lift the sit bones. Forward fold, you can walk your feet in. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bow down, belly draws in. Inhale, rise up. Draw into your heart center. And take a pause here, bringing your drishti, your gaze to your little pinky fingers again, or you can even close your eyes. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Just taking a pause to notice what's going on in the body. Notice what's going on in your mind. Thoughts, emotions. Notice what's going on with your breath. Are you able to stay connected to a smooth inhale and a smooth exhale? Retaining your ujjayi breath. Couple more breaths here. Let your eyes float open if you've closed your eyes. And let's move into another sequence of poses. Let's inhale, reach to the sky. And as we exhale with our ujjayi breath, we fold. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, bow, step your right foot back. So keeping up high on your toes for lunge once again. We start in our runner's lunge. We intertwine the fingers and we rise up into our crescent lunge, lifting the heart, sending the knuckles down towards the earth. Taking 1 more breath here. And then releasing the hands out to the side, and we open up for warrior 2. So make sure your left knee is right over your ankle and not beyond or inside. Gaze over your middle finger, looking at your middle fingernail, focusing your drishti and therefore focusing the mind. Bring your awareness to your breath, to that ujjayi flow of in and out. And then we're going to bend at the elbows and shift our gaze to the long side of our mat. I think we did this a couple weeks ago. Take an inhale here, open the heart, lift the heart. And as we exhale, let your chin drop and draw your forearms together. 2 more like that. Inhale, open, lift the heart. Exhale, drop the chin, forearms come together. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Release your arms out to the side. Let's take peaceful warrior. Just to open that side body. Nice stretch here. And then exhale into side angle. Forearm to the knee or fingertips to the floor. You choose. Back arm swims over and across. Gaze up to the sky. If you feel you need more grounding, you can also look to your front toes. But really open the heart. Lean your head back. Bring your ears back. so that your top ribs spin up to the sky. Take one more breath here. And inhale, come all the way up. Press into your feet, straighten your front leg, turn your toes to the long side of your mat, and just slightly pigeon-toed. Intertwine your fingers behind your back or hands on your hip. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. So in your forward fold, let the top of your head spill towards the earth, a little micro bend in your knees so there's no hyperextending, and press strongly into both feet. So you're not just resting on your feet, you're actually actively pressing them down so you can feel the inner thigh muscles. Take one more breath here. And use your inhale to slowly rise up. Come all the way up. Once you come upright, release your hands, close your eyes, and just take a moment's pause to notice. It's important for us to take these pauses and notice the effect of the postures you're working through on your body, on your breath, and on the focus of the mind. One more breath here. Turn your left toes to the top of the mat. Both hands come down. Step back in downward facing dog. Let's all take child's pose. It's important that we warm the body and get everything moving, get the energy moving, the prana, but we also don't want to burn the body out. So take 2 more breaths here. And then let's inhale up, downward facing dog. 1 breath. Float the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it up between your hands. And then we're going to rise into our runner's lunge. Intertwine your fingers. Send the knuckles back behind you. Inhale all the way out, crescent lunge. So front knee still bent. Heart's lifted. Find a spot to gaze, to focus on. Let everything else fall into your periphery. And we're going to open into warrior 2. So sending the arms up, pivot that back heel down. Check in with your front knee, make sure it's stacked over your ankle. Gaze at your middle finger on your right hand. Let everything else fall away into your periphery. One more breath here in our classic warrior 2. And then bend the elbows. Let your gaze turn to the long side of your mat. Take an inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, forearms come together. Stay with your ujjayi breath. Inhale, open and lift the heart. Exhale, drop the chin, forearms press. One more round. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, open. And release your arms straight. Let's move into peaceful warrior. Flip that front palm. Make space in that right side body. Stretch it up. Nice big inhale. The exhale, we move into side angle. So forearm can come to your front knee or fingertips can come down, but roll that left side open. Left arm reaches up to the sky and over to the front of the room. And the whole time you're making space in that left side body. So really stretching through your left fingertips to the front of the room. One more breath. Press into both feet. Come all the way up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. This time, let's all bring our hands to your hands to our hips, thumbs into your sacrum. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, we begin to fold forward. Slide your hands down the back of your thighs. And then depending where your hands land, you might be holding your shins or your ankles or peace fingers around your big toes. And at the top of the head spill, tiny micro bend, and press, if you've got your toes, press your toes into your hand as you pull your fingers away from the floor. So they're going in opposite directions. Elbows out to the side. Open your eyes and see what your perspective looks like when everything's upside down. Can you stay with your ujjayi breath in this position? Creating that slow restriction as you inhale, as well as you exhale. Release your hands to your legs, slide all the way up, leading with your heart. Pause here. Chin softly towards your chest. Eyes open or closed. If your eyes are open, focus your drishti on something that's not moving. Try to let everything else fall to the periphery, out of focus. Notice your breath. Notice sensations in the body as energy starts to move. And notice thoughts in your mind. We're going to turn our right toes to the top of the mat. Hands come down. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Let's all come down to child's pose for just 3 breaths once again. And then your next inhale, we're going to make our way to our belly. So you choose how you're going to get there. You might just slide forward to your belly. You might come into plank and lower through chaturanga. Whatever you want to do to get there. And once we meet on our bellies, hands underneath your shoulders. Actually, slide your hands back a little bit so they're more to your ribs rather than under your shoulders, but close in, elbows close in, so your shoulder blades move towards your spine. And then let's inhale, rise up, cobra. Pause here. Create the action as though you're sliding your hands towards your hips and bend your right knee. Stay here, one more breath. Exhale, release down, release your leg down. Inhale, rise up, cobra. This time we bend the left knee. Slide the hands towards your hips without moving them. Exhale, release everything down. One more. Inhale, rise up, cobra. Create the same action with your hands, bend both knees. Maybe lift a little higher. Exhale, release down. Take one breath with your forehead down and grounded. And then extend your hands straight out in front of you. Palms come together. You can intertwine your fingers and release your index finger straight out in front of you. Forehead down. Breathe into your belly. Feel your belly fill and press into the floor. Lengthen through both feet and lengthen through your fingers, your index fingers. Feel that grounding sensation of your forehead on your mat, on that solid surface. One last breath. And you can release your hands under your shoulders. Press up and back into down. Actually, let's press up and back, child's pose. Release your back. Release any tension you may have created in the back. And then let's find our way into downward facing dog. Which time do we have? Let's float the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, step it up between your hands, coming into our lunge position. This time coming all the way up to crescent lunge, reaching to the sky. And then bringing your arms wide. We're going to bring our left arm under the right for eagle arms. So you might wrap around and grab your shoulders. You might press the back of your hands together, or you might wrap your palms together. So take a moment here, lifting the heart and sliding the shoulder blades down your back in opposite directions, opposing actions. Take one more breath here. We're going to move into a balance pose of eagle. So begin to lean your torso forward and begin to lengthen forward. And maybe you step that back foot forward a little bit and then bring the left over the right into eagle pose. Maybe sit down a little deeper. And you may bring your right thumb to your forehead to bring a little more focus to the mind. Take one more breath. And as we prepare to release, we're going to step back into our lunge. Hands are going to come down. And step back, downward facing dog. Let's move straight into our second side. So left leg floats up. Exhale, step it up between your hands. So we're rising into crescent moon. Taking a moment to ground through our balance, through our steadiness, through our legs. And then arms come wide. Right arm comes under left this time. And then wrap around whatever position for eagle suits your body or shoulders today. Heart lifts, shoulders slide, shoulder blades slide down your back. Find your drishti, your steadiness. And then we begin to shift forward for eagle. Maybe you step your back foot in, or maybe you do it in one step. Option to bring your thumb to your forehead. Bring your focus to your breath. And that one pointed focus of the eyes. One more breath. And we're going to release back into down dog. So release the arms, send that leg back, downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath here. And we're going to move into pigeon pose. So let's start with the right leg. Float it up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that right knee towards your right wrist and your ankle towards the opposite wrist. And then walk that back leg back. And actually, everybody curl your toes under on your left. Lift that back knee and then place it back down. Draw your right hip back a little bit. And just pausing in our upright pigeon for a moment, really lengthening the heart up. And then we're going to begin to keep the spine long and walk it down. And so some of you, this might be where you are. Some of you might come to forearms. Some of you might bring your forehead all the way to the floor or stack your fists. Or if you have a block, put a block under your forehead so your forehead has something to rest on. So with each breath, imagine your consciousness settling back behind your eyes to that space where you are aware, to that space where you can watch your breath rising and falling in your body, to that space where you can observe your thoughts, And stay connected with that ujjayi breath here, even though it may feel like a resting pose. Notice the sensations and the emotions that arise here. Take one more breath. And then slowly begin to transition up. Curl your back toes under, and you might pause in tabletop, or you might just step back into downward facing dog. Whatever your body needs, take that. And once you come up into down dog, I like to stretch that leg that was bent, the right leg, up into three-legged dog and give it a nice stretch, and maybe even take fire hydrant, because that always feels really good to me. So if that feels good to you, do that. And then let's find our way back to down dog to do our second side. So left leg floats up, lead with your inner thigh. Get nice and long. And the exhale, we draw the knee forward for pigeon on our second side. And again, up on your back toes, walk that back leg back. So we get a little opening in the hip flexor. And then you can uncurl your toes, lift the heart, slide your shoulder blades down your back. Take a breath here. And I didn't say this on the first side, but you also have the option to, if you've got a cushion or a blanket, if you need a little support under one of your hips, you can stick something under there. Maybe it's your sweatshirt. Keep the length in your spine and begin to walk forward. One side's probably going to feel different than the other, and that's okay. Honor that and use what you need to make it work for your body. Let your forehead rest on something, and it might be your stacked fists. Notice the sensations. Notice the thoughts and emotions. And hopefully they're not, I want to kill our teacher. With each breath, again, let the consciousness settle back behind your eyes to that space where you can observe. One last breath. And then slowly begin making your way up, curling the back toes under, pausing in tabletop, or stepping right back to down dog, your choice. And again, you might take three-legged dog, you might come into fire hydrant, or you might take child's pose. Any of them are appropriate. And then you're going to drop down to your knees. Find a seat. And you might grab a block or something. We're going to do a little bit of pranayama before we lie down on your backs. And then we're going to get into our yoga nidra pretty quick. So find your comfortable seat. And if you want to add a sweater at this point in the class before we get you lying down, that's fine too. Or if you want a blanket over your shoulders, that's fine too. But we're going to start with some alternate nostril breath. So take a moment, get comfortable, and then close your eyes and just settle in. We'll connect with our ujjayi breath and our belly breath, and then we'll move into alternate nostril breath. So let's take 3 breaths here, just letting yourself settle after those powerful heating movements. We're going to begin to settle the mind now. Bring your right hand up using your ring finger and your thumb. We'll start by blocking the left nostril with your ring finger. And inhaling through the right nostril. Pause at the top of your inhale. And then block the right, exhale out the left. Stay here as you inhale. Pause at the top and switch to exhale. Inhale here and imagine that breath traveling to that space between your eyes, back of your forehead. Pause and switch to exhale. Inhale here, all the way up to that space behind the forehead. Pause, switch to exhale. Keep moving like this, 3 more rounds of breath. Imagining each inhale at the center of the brain as you pause. And then exhaling out of that center. 2 more rounds. Pausing at the top. Switching to exhale. Last round. Pausing. And exhale from the center. Take 1 more inhale here. Pause and exhale out the right. And then release your hand down. Eyes closed, just take a couple normal breaths here. Perhaps noticing a balance between the right and left sides of the brain. And then we're going to go ahead and lie down. So again, gather your blankets, your props, whatever you need. If you want a rolled up towel under your knees. And I'd suggest covering with a blanket. We're going to do a couple little movement things before we completely settle down, but you're going to be on your back. So gather what you need, and perhaps, should I turn on the heat for just a couple minutes? Yeah. Now, what you cold in Yoga Nidra, but you will cool down. Suzanne, can you guys hear me back there when the heat's running? Okay, good. So once you make it onto your back, lengthen both your legs all the way out. And then reach your arms overhead towards the wall behind you. And as you inhale, bring your awareness to your right leg and your right arm. And really lengthen on the inhale on that whole right side of the body. Get as long as you can on the right side. And then relax. And now let's do the same thing on the left side. So inhaling, getting as long on the left. And then relax. Let's come back to the right. Get nice and long on the right. Reach through your foot, through your fingertips, and relax. Let's do the last one on the left. Get really long on the left side. Reach the left fingertips, left toes, and soften down. And just pause with both legs, both arms long. And then bend the knees, draw your knees towards your belly. Wrap your arms around. Maybe rock from side to side. And release your hands, extend your arms wide, and let your knees windshield washer from side to side, either with feet up or feet grounded, you choose. Using your exhale to drop the knees and your inhales to come back to center. Getting into the side body, side hips, releasing any tension that might still be there. One more time to each side before you come back to center. And as you come back to center, ground both feet down, knees bent. Let your arms come about halfway, about 45 degrees away from your body, so not straight out, but not right beside your body either. Fingertips facing up. If you have a blanket and you wanted to put your blanket on to stay warm, do that now. If you want to put a t-shirt over your eyes, you can go ahead and do that. And then we're going to begin to move into our Yoga Nidra. So slowly slide one leg and then the other leg straight down onto your mat. Take a moment to make any last minute adjustments that you need to so that you can be really comfortable, so that you can come into stillness and not move. Marilyn and Suzanne, can you hear me okay? Yeah? Okay. So just check in that your palms are facing up and nothing is touching your fingertips. Set your heels apart. And make those final micro adjustments, maybe extending your neck long, drawing your shoulder blades flat underneath your back, heart open. And then let your attention move to your abdomen. Notice the rise and fall of the abdominal wall. Nothing forced, just allowing. And now become aware of your whole body. Alert to sensations throughout the whole body. Some may be familiar. Some may be unique to this moment. Perhaps you notice some unique pockets of freedom in your body. Notice any areas of stress or contraction. Release your entire body to the earth. With each exhale, notice more and more heaviness throughout the body. Softly moving towards more and more stillness. Because you are no longer concerned about moving your body, your mind can become more still. Now in that far-reaching field of relaxation, return your awareness to your breath in the most natural and most comfortable rhythm. Neither too strong or too weak, too slow or too fast. More and more you have the awareness that you are not the breather, but the awareness that is experiencing your body breathing. Move your awareness to the third eye center, that space between your eyebrows, the center of your forehead, and see a star-like point of light, a blue point of light that breathes with your breath. Feel a deep ease. Now see or experience this blue point of light in the throat center. Your right shoulder, a blue point of light. Your right elbow, your right wrist. The tips of all of your fingers, blue points of light. Throat center, blue point of light. Left shoulder, right elbow, left elbow, left wrist. The tips of all your left fingers, a blue point of light. Throat center, blue point of light. Heart center, point of light. Center of the right chest. Heart center. Center of the left chest. Heart center. Navel center. Sacrum, a blue point of light. Your right hip, blue point of light. Your right knee, right ankle, right foot, all 5 of your right toes, a blue point of light. Sacrum, left hip, blue point of light. Left knee, left ankle, blue points of star-like light. Your left foot, all 5 left toes, blue points of light. Sacrum, a blue point of light. Navel, heart center, throat center, midbrain, point between your forehead, between your eyebrows, a blue star-like point of light. Sense the body. Sense the body as space, boundless spaciousness. Sense your body heavy, sinking into the earth. Sense your body light, light as a feather. Sense your body heavy again, sinking, weighted. Sense your body light as a feather, buoyant, floating. Now imagine or sense or envision that you're resting on your back on a warm sand beach, looking up to the night sky, vibrant and twinkling. Feel the warmth of the sun. Feel the weight of your body and the beauty of the night sky, vibrant and twinkling. That space is now your body. And all those points of blue light are the constellations that is your body. You are the consciousness pervading that space. Sense your breath moving more effortless, more smooth, more timelessly than ever before. Your body is drawn into sleep. Even the mind dissolves into the deep silence of sleep. But awareness remains awake. The breath moves through that infinite space and the constellations of the stars. Now see and feel or sense yourself as a rose-colored cloud. Your body is effortlessly morphed into a rose-colored cloud. Then experience that this cloud expands and contracts with the breath. Breathe in, it becomes a rose-colored point. Breathe out, it becomes a cloud. Be effortless. The whole of your being deeply absorbed in rose, a vibrant rose-colored cloud. Relax your breath. Become aware of the breath moving and reaching towards extremities. As the breath deepens, be inclined to gently begin to move your fingers and your toes. As you begin to move gently back to life, slowly roll to your right side into fetal position as you come back to life. And when you're ready, slowly make your way up to a seat. As you find your seat, you can close your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart center, eyes closed, chin softly dropped. Just take a moment to feel into your body. Feel that sense of peace and calm. Notice perhaps your mind is quiet. Perhaps somewhere inside you have been able to become aware of that sense of awareness, that wisdom body within you. As we aspire to right thoughts, right speech, and right action, as we become open to the truth within us. Gently float your eyes open. Bring your awareness to the room. Let's have 3 ohms before we close. Take a deep inhale. Exhale out your mouth. And we'll inhale to Om. Let your eyes float open. Namaste, 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 namaste. I should have told you to wear your pajamas so you could just go straight home. Pajama party, yoga. Hopefully everybody feels nice and calm and centered and ready for your evening and the rest of your week.